Hello, everybody, and welcome back to M&J Games. I am Michael, and I am here at a beautiful park that was actually created back in late July, and it's been on my list of parks to look at. It is called Castaway Falls, and it is by TSM underscore Fighter 10, and the description just says a realistic tropical themed park. Now, I love what this creator creates because some of the creator's earlier parks look really good. I think there are a couple that are unfinished that they're maybe still working on, but the last one they created was the Silver Dollar City Dollywood themed park, and that's still honestly one of my favorite parks that I've seen on console. And as you can see, it's actually at 63% on the PS5, so pretty close to 100% on the PS4. And once again, just using very good use of trees to kind of cover up spots. As you can see, there's a lot of mixture of trees too. So that definitely took some time. Because when you look at it from above, it looks like it's all kind of merged together. It doesn't look like they're just copying and pasting and using the same type of trees. But trees are a brilliant way to take up space because in nature, that's truly what happens. And so let's go ahead and look at this park. I believe there's five coasters, maybe but yeah. So as you enter the park, I love this little walkway here because what this creator's done is created this nice little, oops, this nice little island area and kind of lookout point for the guest. But right away, I don't know about you guys, but this kind of gives me tropical Universal Studios type vibes or something. But really good use of the different pieces here. Just kind of got those majestic archways. And I would love to see this creator do some sort of like parking lot sometime and stuff like that because this guy's super realistic with it. Um, yeah, so right away, and I like once again how when you enter the park and you can see just using some terrain paint there to kind of cover up the area that doesn't have a path. But right when you enter the park, you can kind of see this kind of nature lake area to the left, which is really nice. All right, so let's see. Do we want to go straight this way and to the right or to the left? I love the use of kind of the little, are those technically palm trees? I don't know. I don't really go to tropical areas too often, but this is really pretty. Really, really well done. So you got a couple shops, and you can tell all of these have a lot of detail on them. So it looks like the stucco pieces with just the then with trim pieces put on. Because right there you've got the wooden columns, and I believe this one is, yeah, the wooden beam framework. So really, really well done. Yeah, and I mean, this park, like, this creator just does a good job making you really feel secluded when you're in the park. And a good job with elevation changes. So it looks like trying to use the beams, or honestly, I would have used beams there. I mean, I understand why they did that, though. I'm using those pieces to kind of cover up the curb and stuff. Yeah, so let's go right first. We normally always go left. As you can tell, just really pretty park. Lots of trees. Everything's covered up, which is nice. And so that looks like an exit. And that looks like a custom-made support system, which is nice. So, ooh, Gwazi. Trying to take something out of Iron Gwazi's playbook, I'm guessing. So let's see what's over here before we go on Gwazi. Oh, this just leads back around to the entrance. Okay. And placing the custom fencing all along. I know how difficult that is and how time consuming that is. So here we go. All right, so the coaster is about to take off. Let's kind of take a quick look at this station though before. Um, yeah, I mean, nice use of different pieces, and you're using the fairy tale kind of roofing, and also you got some cross beams there and stuff like that. So really detailed. I don't expect anything less from this creator. So let's go ahead and get on the coaster. It looks like the color scheme is the same as Gwazi. Let's ride seat view on this one. So all green, which is good. Everything looks good. So it's not that tall of a coaster, not even 100 feet, but get some good speed. It looks like he used the Gnarler coaster. All right. Now, I never went on the old Gwazi. But yeah, I like how you've got, is that a transfer track there? Yeah, transfer track. I would like to see it a little bit more decked out with some stuff in here. And also, you know, this piece should be moved down. So, for example, well, I can't click on it without deleting it. Let's see. So, like, for example, you should probably just move down the roof of this, right? Because you don't, I mean, that track's not showing up at all, so you won't have the track showing up. So what you could have done is lowered all of that just a little bit, like literally lowered the entire building. And then you could, so if you lower the entire building just a little bit, you've then got the realism of the coaster track kind of being right there, and then you would take the supports off, so then you can kind of have the other things kind of going around it, where you've got like your backstage kind of clutter. But I also like on these wooden coasters kind of having this little covering where kind of the brake run is. I think that's nice. And as you can see at night, I'm sure it looks nice with those lights for sure. And look at the station all lit up, which is nice. Really cool. Yeah, and the park looks, you know, lit up how park normally would look lit up. Nothing too crazy. So let's go ahead and go back to daytime. Oh, he's really trying to clean out that trash can. Good gosh. All right. So let's continue going to the right. And I just like to kind of the views you get right here, because you see the coaster just going right over that ledge. So that's kind of a really cool look, kind of on the first drop. Here we go. Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So Wave Rider. Okay. And there's just a lot of custom stuff in here. Now, one thing here, because I have seen him use this in other parks, I feel like you still got to have supports there. I feel like that's still not supported enough. And I know the reasoning for it. So I feel like if you're going to have it like that, just kind of get rid of all these extra beams, because I feel like it's still got to have the supports going down here. That's just my opinion, though. Oh, and using the sand, so nice touch right there. And that is kind of a cool terrain paint one, where it actually, you can kind of see all the movement within the sand, which is really cool. Oh, there we go. Beautiful dive coaster. And so a lot of rocks and foliage. Like I said, I mean, this is just really well done by this creator. I really need to get better with doing terrain work, as that's something that I am not so great at right now. As we come along this way, we get to another flat ride. I forget the name of that one, but I like the little sign there. And yeah, just continuing with the rocks and with the foliage and stuff. Looks really good. That's a cool look of that impulse coaster. So we got restroom. You know, I'd say you got to put a roof on in here, and then you can place flooring that kind of covers up the grass area. So that's just one piece of advice that I could give. But I do love this little area. And then one thing you can do here too, because you've got this distinction, right? Which I'm guessing, oh, okay, that actually is path. One thing you could do is you could take art pieces, because originally I was saying you could take curbs, but curbs actually try to deter guests from walking over them unless there's no other option. So what you can just do is take your art piece, and I know I show this a lot. You know, I would take this art piece right here, oops, and then color it like either black or kind of dark gray. And then, so now let me turn this off because I'm going to have to turn this to try to mat the same direction. Yeah, so then now you can kind of go over. You just have it slightly above the ground. And so you put it there, and then you'd have another one go there. And you can put one on the other side. And all that it does is it creates that distinction, kind of showing that you're stepping over to a new kind of area, if that makes sense. And I really like kind of having those little curbs. Some people put hazard strips, stuff like that. But nice restaurant area here, and I'm guessing this one does not have an interior, which I actually kind of like this, not having an interior, and you just kind of got this really big building. Because a lot of times you see these really kind of big dining buildings in theme parks, and it's a pain in the butt to decorate on the inside. Oh, what a viewpoint right here. And he did put a viewpoint. This is really cool. Let's see if we can get the dive coaster going. Is it broken down? Oh man, those people are stuck up there. That is so much fun, especially since there's no stairs to get you down. Sorry, buddies. He doesn't look happy. But yeah, that's a really, really cool touch. And then, oh, looks like we got the kitty coaster, called Dragon's Breath. So let's go ahead and pause this. I like the station. You know, nothing overly complex. Like the queue over here. And you got kind of some supports there. I'm not a huge fan of elevated queues like this with kind of nothing underneath it, but I understand that they kind of have to do that sometimes. That's just me though. But once again, nice station. All right, I feel like that's a pretty good kids coaster. I think there's one turn. I think this one's too sharp, just because of how much. I mean, those aren't super long trains compared to some of them, but I think it's just a little bit sharp on that turn. But other than that, it's great. And I like too how, you know, you made it kind of that deserty feel, and you just kind of randomly place some bushes around. Because I mean, that's kind of what you have a lot of times, right? Kind of the green nature isn't necessarily doesn't always look perfect in nature, right? Because it's not necessarily always planted there. It's kind of just kind of overgrown and stuff. But once again, really good job. As we come this way, you get a good look at that intimate impulse coaster. Rest in peace, Twisted Timbers, or not Twisted Timbers. Sorry. Oh gosh. Not Twisted Timbers. Twisted. And now I can't remember the name of it. Whatever the name is of the one at Cedar Point that's either going to be shipped off to somewhere else or just removed totally. Man, that thing goes fast through the station. Wow. Whew. I don't know if I've actually ridden one of these in the game yet. Just because they're so basic, I've never made one. But they are good for if you have a small plot of land where you kind of need to create a cool coaster. They don't take up a lot of space. Love the detail here with the station. Then you've also got this building here. You know, maybe I would just continue these pieces down. But really, really love this. I think this is a really good job. So let's go ahead and ride the Flash. Fantastic. All right, so I was watching a video on YouTube one time. I can't remember. I think it was talking about like coasters that are taller than you expect or shorter than you expect. And these impulse coasters are one of them where if you're actually at its highest point that the car goes, which is basically right up here, it's like a 215-foot drop. So I wonder what they say on the... Yeah, 53 meters. I think it's only counting from as high up as the... So let's see. So not quite. So I think it's only counting from that point right there all the way back down, right? From that last car. But I think it's, if you're actually way up there, which is, whew, that's actually pretty scary in real life, a little bit. If you're right up there, you're actually like 215 feet off the ground. That is ooh, that's a little creepy, to say the least. So, yeah, really enjoyed that coaster, and I like all the kind of custom buildings. See, same thing here. I think I would just have, other posts here. I know you're trying to maybe go for a different style, but I think it needs that extra support. That's just my opinion, though. But I love putting the rocks here around this flat ride, kind of making this ride skin. Once again, just good use of the terrain here to kind of block off different sight lines that you don't want the guests to see. And, I mean, all the coasters just are really hidden well. And look at this station. Woo! That is cool, although some of these are not showing up, but that's all right. So great use of different pieces, and I like to... Now, see, this is when I don't mind having the elevated queue, when you've actually got it, like, almost as, like, part of a building. But look at this. Look at all these beams. Like, that structure system is fantastic. So I think this is probably the Copperhead Strike Coaster. Oh, Launch Vector. Okay. So would this be like the Maverick type of coaster, I think? Whenever we launch. Any day now. There we go. All right, so what are y'all's thoughts? I think it's a pretty good coaster. I think smoothing out a couple areas. I'm not as huge of a fan of launch coasters compared to other ones. That's just me personally because I like drops to get my stomach. And these don't really have big drops, but I did like this first kind of top hat, and I thought that was just a brilliant look when you're sitting here and you can see that impulse coaster going up. Golly, this is making me want to make an impulse coaster in in my park or parks. I mean, it's really cool. I think it looks good, especially at the back of the park there. So now it looks like we've got another restaurant here. A couple restaurants. We got Monsieur Frites. Got the Gulpy area. We got restrooms back here. Okay, that's a good touch, kind of having this all kind of intertwined and connected. Then we got the hot dog squad. Looks like we're gonna have. Oh, that's kind of weird. Okay, I see what happened there. Yeah, I'll just delete that path. If I delete this path, does that do anything? Yeah, so just delete that part. So, I mean, that's just personally what I would do, so you don't have people walking through there. But then you got the Street Fox Coffee. And so we got this place. It looks like it was starting to be fenced off. Maybe we just didn't get around to it. But I do like the fencing color there. Nice viewing platform for the drop on the water ride. You got all these picnic tables, but there's not necessarily a food place right here. There is food places over there. I mean, maybe what you could have done is essentially had what you have here right here and move these places right here so that you've got this food kind of right here, which makes sense, or like the seating areas. Yeah, we'll definitely have to. This water ride, I'm wondering, is it. Okay, we'll have to go check out that water ride in a little bit. So I think we just have one more coaster, if I'm remembering correctly. So it shouldn't be a terribly long review. Yeah, because here was kind of our entryway. Oh, this is really pretty right here. Wow, that's really pretty. Really nice. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so this is, if we gone left, this is what we see. Like, that is a beautiful view of that dive coaster. Wow, that's spectacular. Love the coloring on it as well. I find it hard coloring coasters a lot of times because, ooh, condor. Ooh, I like that. That gives me an idea. You know, only thing I'd say is making these long queues can really eat up your counter. Once again, nice detailed station. You've got a. I like the audio there. So it looks like we got a longer station to accommodate for multiple trains. Because these stations normally are pretty short. See, I clicked on the building. Let's go ahead and ride the coaster. So this one I feel like we're going to have to ride in seat view. We need to ride in the middle. If we look at the stats, let's look at the results. Biggest drop 43 meters, so about 150-ish feet, give or take. All the stats look good, 67 miles per hour. So this park definitely has smaller coasters than this creator had on his previous park, but I think it definitely works. All right, so I heard a splash there. I want to see if so it does look like there are some waterfalls right there. So we got some triggered, looks like some triggered parts here on this coaster as it comes through. There we go. Oh, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. I haven't seen many creators do that because you got a lot of these on these dive coasters, or Diamondback is a hyper coaster that does it. Yeah, so let's look at this water ride and then kind of wrap up the park. Once again, just detailed stations. Choppers Creek. Yeah, just not a big fan of these, to be honest. And that's not anything against the creation or anything. I'm just not a big fan. But I do like that you're trying to do stuff differently and carry it throughout the park. And so here is the log flume. Let me see, was this the one? I think this one just left the station. Nope. Alright, sorry about that. So we'll just do the orbit mode so we can kind of look around. This is one thing that on the previous park this creator did too, was kind of having it kind of sunk into the ground. Although, I'd say the only thing is the water might be a little bit too high, as it looks like they're actually riding in the water. So, other than that, it looks fantastic. Like I said before, look at all the variation of trees. I mean, you obviously have the big oak trees as kind of the mainstay, but then you've got your Marcella trees. I think that's how you said it. You've got your tropical trees, or Marcula. I forget what the name of it is, but just then you got the trees that start with an A. I forget. I always forget the name of these trees, but just really good job of varying them up. All right, and so there we are. There's Choppers Creek, which honestly might be the same name as at his previous park. I don't know. But yeah, so overall, we've looked at the entire park. Like I said, it's not an overly large park. So as you can see, the whole park is built around this coaster, basically. And so if this creator does watch this, I'd like to know, like, did you build this coaster first? Kind of, what was your idea for it? Because that's the whole thing. Is the whole there's basically one medium-sized circle with this coaster as the mainstay in the center, and everything else is kind of around it. So I'd love to get your opinion on that. Honestly, I think my favorite coaster was probably the wooden coaster. I think the Impulse coaster looks really cool, and then I mean the views from this dive coaster are awesome. But I think this is a really great job. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. What's your favorite part? I think the realism here is really nice. Love all the custom fencing. You've got a lot of different buildings, but kind of carrying the same style. Every ride also has a custom sign. A lot of rocks and foliage. So just a really, Really, really good job. Really well done. Let's see. Hold on. Night. Oh, look at that. Colored it purple for Gwazi. Which hopefully will open next year. We'll see. All right, guys. As always. Oh, and you got the dual towers here, so that's really cool. So it's called Water Spout. Okay, and you kind of colored them to make it look like water. But once again, I mean, just look at the view of that dive coaster right there in the background. I mean, that's just a cool view. So thank you guys so much for watching. We always appreciate your support and taking the time to watch these videos. Because I know we all kind of have busy days and all our lives can be busy. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time when you are relaxing and stuff to watch this content. And as always, I really appreciate feedback and anything of that nature. So make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think and hit the like button. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.